Hey, shalom, shalom, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. Today I want to talk to you about the words of Rebbe Nachman. I've been reading a very excellent book that has been compiled with many of the sayings and teachings that he has said and wrote over the years in a book called Advice by Rabbi Nachman, put out by the sect of Judaism that he was the leader of for so long, the Breslov sect of Judaism. And it amazes me how Rebbe Nachman's words are so Messiah-like in that they line up quite well with many things that we find in the Brit Chadasha. Let me give you just one example. Rebbe Nachman said, "The foundation of true spiritual leadership is love. No one can be a true leader unless he has genuine love for the Jewish people. But he must understand how to show this love. It is forbidden to show love to the wicked, to murderers and robbers. He must know how to guide and direct each individual along the path which will lead to the ultimate good. The essence of love he shows to the Jewish people is to draw them from their sins. There is no greater love than this." That last phrase, "there is no greater love than this," my mind immediately goes to Yochanan, John 15:13. It says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that he laid down his life for his friends." And that's what Yeshua did. That's exactly what Yeshua did on the Roman execution stake on the cross. He became the sacrifice for the sins of mankind. He laid down his life. He visually showed in word and deed his love to the Jewish people for the greater good. Why? To draw them away from their sins. What is sin? According to 1 John 3:4, sin is the breaking or the disobedience of Torah. And so he came to show us how to live the Torah correctly so that we could walk in Torah, and he also came to take away the sins that we commit when we break Torah through his death. So he must know how to guide and direct each individual along the path which will lead to his ultimate good. I recall the encounters Rebbe Yeshua Messiah had with Nicodemus, who was a Rav of Israel. He approached him in a spiritual, intellectual sort of manner and was able to drash with him on a sod level to bring across the truths of salvation and to bring across his point. That wouldn't have worked with other people of Israel, with just the regular Joes of Israel. He also approached the rich young ruler in a rhetorical type of fashion, which ended up pointing out his obvious lack, his obvious need, which was that of charity. He may have been able to keep all the commandments on the outside, but if the motivation of love isn't there, to love your fellow man and to be charitable, because even Yeshua himself said that the second greatest commandment is very closely connected to the first. You're to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and the second is to love your neighbor as yourself. And in Jewish tradition, charity is the greatest meritorious of all the mitzvot, of all the commandments, because it kind of encapsulates all the commandments. So, and it says that you're not. Rebbe Nachman also said that you're not to love. It is forbidden to show love to the wicked, to murderers, and to robbers. And when he saw his own people, the teachers of his own people, leading men astray and putting unnecessary burdens on them, he considered them like murderers and robbers. I think of the money changers when he kicked out the money changers and beat them out with cords. That was showing that he would not tolerate robbers, murderers. And I think of the words of Yochanan, where or not the words of Yochanan, but the words of Messiah himself, when he said, you're the ones who've killed the prophets. You're murderers. You've killed the prophets. And so he pulled no punches with those who knew better, and he put them in their place. And he says, yeah, we're to obey our Torah teachers, do as they say, but don't do as they do, because they're hypocrites. Many of them have the tendency to be hypocritical. So he showed his love in deed, but he also showed it in word. In the same passage where he criticized the Perushim, the Pharisees, so harshly, he also said to them at the same time, he says, "Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how I've longed to gather you under my wings as a hen gathers her chicks." That was showing love. That was showing love in word, and showing love in deed was to die for the sins of mankind. I guess we could say that he did show love to the, maybe they weren't literal robbers and murderers regarding the Pharisees and their hypocritical teachings and such. He showed them a tough love, but, the point of the matter of what Rebbe Nachman has said, that he pulled no punches. He did not compromise, and he showed, zero tolerance for such things as that. And also, I'd like to point out something else that Rebbe Nachman said. He said also, it is very dangerous for a tzaddik, that is a righteous man, to be revealed and widely known, and to occupy a position of leadership. The danger is obvious in the case of one who is not fitted to the task, who wears a talit which is not his own. But it is present even in the case of men of true stature who genuinely serve God. When they accept positions of leadership and teach Torah publicly, they are running the risk of falling into immorality, theft, murder, with every step they take. I'm telling you, if you are not a leader, pray for your leaders. They're in a great path of responsibility. James, Yeshua's brother himself, said in 3:1-2, "My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that ye shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If a man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, able to bridle his whole body." So he says, the Torah teachers are going to receive the greater condemnation, because they have a great responsibility. They're in the public eye. They're in the public view. They have the power through their words and teachings to steer people in the right direction or the wrong direction. And that's why Yeshua said, don't be so quick to call a man rabbi and father. We shouldn't be desirous of those positions. Like Horshack on Welcome Back, Kotter. Ooh, I want to be a rabbi. I want to be a rabbi, because there's great responsibility that goes with it, and with great responsibility is a greater condemnation if you happen to fail miserably. So Yeshua wasn't saying that we aren't to call anybody a rabbi or father, but that we're not to, that those words are not a four-letter word, because people called Yeshua rabbi himself, and he didn't rebuke them. He was saying that we shouldn't just put them on such a high pedestal in the place of Messiah or in the place of God, but realize that there are people that are deserving of those titles and people that are not. Also, I recall the passage where Rav Shaul advises Timothy in appointing leaders. He said, lay hands on no man suddenly. We're not to lay hands on anybody, person suddenly, or put them to a position that they're undeserving of, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. What happens, you have employee theft. Well, employee theft, the same kind of thing happens in religious circles. When a person is of religious stature, where they have a lot of power and authority, they get to the point where they justify sexual immorality, where they justify embezzlement by saying, I've worked hard. I've worked hard for these people. I've suffered so much. People has not walked in my shoes. They criticize me. They don't know the half of it. You know what? I deserve this. Therefore, I'm going to do it. So, Rebbe Nachman, said that there's a great danger in leadership. So, as I said at the beginning of this vlog, if you're not a leader, please pray for your leaders. If you're a leader, wake up. Be very sober and vigilant, and keep on guard, because Hasatan wants nothing more than to take you out and to take you down, like he's done many, many great men before you. So, shalom and shavuot tov mishpocha. Catch you later. Bye.